Today on the Philly Talk podcast, we discuss what Carson Wentz had to say about the Eagles' defense. We also get his thoughts on this Week 3 matchup. But more importantly, we're going to start breaking down my initial thoughts on Eagles-Washington Week 3 showdown. And just for GP, we get into 3-0.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today, we got some things to get into, but before we do that, Eagle Nation, I got a question for you. Do you believe the Eagles are going to get to 3-0 and beat the Commanders and Carson Wentz in Washington? If so, do your boy a favor and hit that like. It's free also, and it helps me out. Subscribe and ding that bell. That's important. If you already got the bell dinged, go back, turn it off, and back on. You know how YouTube is. And if you don't, hit it. We trying to grow notification gang. Also, there's a link in the description. I got a little bit more about it right here. It will bring you to the Chalkboard app. It's free. And I said this on Twitter. We need one more to get to 200. It's an Eagles live chat. It's free. And we literally have conversations 24/7. Someone just made a message in it right now. It's only for iPhone, but I promise you, by the end of this week, early next week, it will be for Android. They're really so close. Now, the link is in the description, but this is how it looks. We got announcements. Eagles Flock, Sixer Squad, and Game Day Chat. There's literally conversations going 24/7, news everywhere, and it's fun. So join if you got an iPhone or an iPad. Now, I promise, this is the last thing I'm going to say about Jalen Reagor and the Minnesota Vikings, because we turning the page. We on to 3-0 against the Washington football team, but when I saw this picture, I died. I asked Twitter, and so I want to ask you guys, what is Devonta Smith saying to Quez Watkins? Let me know. I'll start. This is what I think he's saying. What the bleep am I going to do with this? And as you can see, look at Smitty's face, look at Quez's face, and look what he's holding. A signed Jalen Reagor jersey? What I'm going to do with this? Again, Jalen Reagor was supposed to have the revenge tour on the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't happen. But again, I need to hear from Eagle Nation. Y'all the best. Make it funny, make it serious. Just look at Smitty's face and Quez's. And the first thing that comes to your mind, comment it. I need to hear it. Even if you don't comment that much, drop a comment. If I'm being too mean, let me know. But let me know what looking at this picture makes you think Smitty is saying to Quez about that jersey. All right, now, let's get to Carson Wentz. And we'll start on the defensive side. And pretty much, he gave us our flowers. He said the defensive front is good, blah, 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 blah. But when it got to the nitty-gritty, he said their defense is good and it plays fast and hard. I wouldn't say they're anything exotic. We know what we're going to get from them, meaning the Eagles. Listen to him say it himself, and then we're going to talk about this not exotic defense. And we'll see what I got to say.
They're a good defense. They play fast. They play hard. I wouldn't say they're anything exotic. So we kind of know what we're going to get, but that just means we got to execute and out-execute them. They're a good defense.
We got to execute and out-execute them. Interesting. Here's my thought. I think when you look at what we did against the Lions, and if you look at the 17-18 ball games last year with the cast we had, of course, we really played passive, two deep safeties, everything underneath, blah, 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 blah. But I saw some creativity, some exoticness against the Minnesota Vikings, who they has a pretty talented offense when you look at running back, wide receiver, and a quarterback that can sling it. He ain't slinging against us Monday night, but can sling the ball. Kind of like a Carson Wentz. Up and down and up and down. Now, we will get into what the Washington Commanders and Carson Wentz have done in these last 2 weeks. They slung the ball around. I think he's the second leading passer to Tua. Look at that. Number 1 is Tua. Number 2 is Carson Wentz. Sheesh, what's going on? But we'll discuss that. But I think he's coming into here thinking that we're not going to get pressure. We're not going to play up. I think we're going to see more of the disguising and the creativity of Monday night than what we've seen before. Because I think Jonathan Gannon understands. It's one game. You can say, Mike, you're jumping the gun. I mean, he got to, right? He understands. He talked today about how successful things were and letting guys play and feeling good about the game plan. I'm not saying he's going to blitz as much, play as much man, because he played 30% of man. But I do believe it's going to be more good to follow than bad. So hopefully we do throw some wrinkles in there. You know, I saw a couple blitzes up the middle, the side. We saw Avonte Maddox come week 1. We saw C.J. Gardner-Johnson come week 2. Throw some wrinkles in that. We had some cover 2 where instead of the safeties dropping back, the safeties came up, the corners went back. We did a bunch of different things. We played not big nickel. We played dime or giant dime. And I like it. You get guys like Kavon Wallace and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Marcus Sepps, still all on the field. They can help stop the run, but also be beneficial in a wide set when you know that Carson Wentz and the Commanders are passing. And we'll get to how much they like to run or pass the ball thus far this season. But here's the thing also. John Clark reported Carson Wentz said his time in Philly was a whirlwind, a wild ride. He says looking back, there were some times where he could have been a better person and a better teammate, making some of them locker room shenanigans sound true. He says he's grown a lot from the experience in Philly. He did say he cherished it. And listen, let me just say this before we talk about the Washington football game precisely. I was a big Carson Wentz fan. I still got the jersey somewhere deep in my closet. I didn't burn it or rip it up. Thought about turning the name to Brown and having a cheap A.J. Brown jersey, but A.J. Brown deserves me to spend the bread. And that might be a free giveaway coming up soon. One of the jerseys. We got a lot of jerseys to pick from. Stay tuned. Put notifications on. But looking at the whole scenario, you know, rumors coming out that he was mad we won the Super Bowl because he wasn't healthy. Now the Josina Anderson stuff looking to be a little bit more true. The fact that when he left, I mean, how he quit, how he demanded a trade. And I understood we had to move off of him. But then when he said that the Indianapolis people are more my people, again, I'm not talking white, black, Spanish, anything. You know, I'm not trying to do all that. But just still, so who are we as Philadelphians, or Philadelphia sports fans? We're not good enough for you? So, like, you know, there was a lot that went into, for me personally, where I'm just like, I'm off the Carson squad. You know what I mean? I rooted for him in Indianapolis because I wanted him to stay healthy. Get us that draft pick, that first round. We got it. Now you're a division rival. If I could look at McNabb and say, well, I can dang sure look at you and say, blah, hey, huh? Simple as that. Now, looking at what Carson has done this year, you know, seven touchdowns, 650 yards passing. That's like 325 on average per game. I'm not saying it was exactly that, but 2 games, both over 300 yards passing. But he got 3 interceptions. He's prone to making the turnover by trying to play hero ball. When I look at his receivers, they're dangerous. When I look at the analytics of what the Washington football team want to do, they want to throw the ball. They are in the bottom half of the NFL in rushing yards. They're in the middle half of attempts, so they will try to run the ball. They haven't been successful running the ball. And the way we shut down Dalvin Cook and that rushing offense, which is better than the Washington rushing offense, you got to come out with that same game plan. Stop the run early, make Carson Wentz throw the ball 45, 50 times, and wait for the turnover, because it's going to happen. Live by the gun, die by the gun. 7 touchdowns. He slung the rock. He was pretty good in the second half of the Detroit game, but he will throw the turnover. Now, I expect him to have a little chip on his shoulder, but so will Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense, but I want to stick more on the defense. The Commanders are going to throw the ball. So just prepare yourself the same way you knew Kirk Cousins was trying to get it to the likes of Justin Jefferson. There's 2 guys over there really being Scary Terry and Jahan Dotson, who has came on. Curtis Samuel's healthy this time. So just be aware of all that. For sure. And now real quick, again, this is my initial thoughts only. We ain't going to break it down all the way. But looking at the Commanders' defense, I looked at their secondary, and by name, they're not good. But honestly, they are top 10 in the league in forcing bad completion percentage. Eagles are in there too. I think the Eagles are number 3. I don't know. They were close together. I think the Eagles are number 4 or 5 in completion percentage allowed, and the Commanders are like 6, 7, or 8. They're still top 10. 57, 58% completion percentage against that secondary. They're weak at the linebacker position, and although their front 4 can get to the quarterback, not someone like Jalen Hurts, they are top 5 worst in rushing yards allowed. Now, they did just face the Lions, who have been running down everybody's throat. But with Jalen, Miles, Scott, and Gainwell and this offensive line, we can run the ball too. I think Hurts is going to have opportunities in the secondary just because we got weapons. But I like the fact that so far in 2 weeks, we were able to get Jalen Hurts 243 passing yards, 333 passing yards, but we never really fully went away from the running game, which means Hurts, Sanders, Scott, and Gainwell. There's yards to be had against the Washington football team on the ground. Miles Sanders plays very, very well against the Commanders. And honestly, Carson Wentz, going back to him real quick, he's always been a Washington killer. And so now he's not playing for us, but he can kill Washington. Throw us a couple gimmies. Throw us a couple picks. I'm going to do my due diligence and some more of the analytics and numbers behind what the Commanders' offense and defense represents and the Eagles' offense and defense represents. But we'll get into that Friday, Saturday. I'll be at the game Sunday. Again, help your boy out. Hit that like button. The like button is free. It's easy, and it don't cost a thing. Subscribe. We just reached over 25K. And I'm telling you, get that bell ding. We trying to grow notification gang. I appreciate all you guys. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out.